Welcome. So the people have more questions, so the people are going to get more answers. Keep the questions coming, more than happy to answer them. Not going to lie, this gets a little bit morbid, but people need questions. People need their questions answered, so we're going to answer them. Disclaimer, as always, in the legal sense, we are not a charity, aka we are not incorporated yet, but in the sense of having a mission to help others and make someone's life just a little bit easier, we certainly are. Let's get into these questions. Question number 1. As you saw in my last video, I had an expectation to incorporate either in 2018, 2019. So the question was, why not incorporate sooner? 2019 seems far away. So basically this just comes down to having the money to go through that process. So at the end of the day, I don't want to use donations to pay for that. And then unfortunately, like I said, I'm not independently wealthy and just don't happen to have that extra couple of $1,000s laying around. If anyone does want to make a donation, just throwing that out there. If anybody wants to make a donation specifically for admin fees, feel free. I will put it towards that cause, and then any leftover I'll put in the fund. Even if I get somebody to fund like 75% of it, I'll fund the rest of that. But if not, then basically that's just why it's taking time. Just to get that, with the YouTube ad revenue or thinking of some other ways to make money, outside of donations and ad revenue to cover those costs. But I certainly want to get incorporated just as much as anybody else. It just comes down to finding the money to do that, really. Number 2, this is where it gets morbid. In case of unforeseen events, God forbid, such as illness or other, that make the project impossible to pursue, what would happen to the funds? So really this comes down to, I guess, 2 parts of depending on how sick you want me to get. So severe illness-wise, I say screw it, I'm on my way out anyway, and I either pay for the incorporation just with, whatever, retirement money, anything I got laying around. And if I have somebody who actually wants to take it over and continue it, then they would go ahead and do that. Or if I can't find somebody that actually wants to pursue it, then obviously I wouldn't incorporate it. I would offer people back the money in the community, and anybody who actually didn't want their money back would just get it donated to whatever charity that the person wanted to. At the end of the day, I hope somebody does want to take it over should I fall severely ill, God forbid. But obviously it's a lot of work to take on an endeavor like this, so if I couldn't find somebody to do that, it would just go back to the community and either send them the money back or ask them if they want to donate somewhere else. And then upon my untimely death, my beneficiaries know that it's important for me to continue this journey, but again, like I said, I would never force someone to do it because there is that time commitment to it. They can either continue it, offer it to the community, their money back, and donate the rest, or if they decide to steal the money, they will be haunted by me for eternity. Which gets into the next question: is there a backup plan in the case of such event? AKA, would the beneficiaries, do I have any beneficiaries that would take over the project, and are they legally bound to take over the project or distribute the money somewhere else? So obviously the plan we just answered in number 2, but no, there's nothing right now that's legally bound. So obviously there is a risk that my beneficiaries say screw him and they do whatever they want. But knowing who my beneficiaries are, I would highly doubt that happens. I'm confident that they would put the money to good use, like I said, whether it is continuing on my behalf or going back to the community and asking them if they wanted refunds or basically finding another cause to give it to. There's also a relatively short time frame between now and 2019, so obviously this is worst case scenarios, but I just need to stay healthy for about another year or 2. So I will do my best to drive safe and avoid stepping on sewers. Number 4, have you identified a threshold point in which the total value of the portfolio and taxes you suffer from it make it worth paying the incorporated costs, and if so, what is it? So basically, the incorporated costs come down to, from my research, rough estimates in the 1.5K to 2K range, filing fees, potential lawyer costs, all that kind of stuff to actually go through the incorporation process. So the taxes would need to get up to a fairly significant margin. So if I just do some quick math, I get to about 300K when you go about 3% dividends plus some capital gains, 15% tax rate. It's not out of the question that we get there, prior to 2019, but that is a tall order. We are at 4K after 2 weeks, but it would be great if we got to 300K next week, but it might take a little more than that 2019 timeframe. I would, if I had to guess, I would say we get to the incorporation stage before we get to the pain point of taxes. But at the end of the day, the incorporation threshold is essentially the lesser of tax paying or available donation money. So at the end of the day, I would expect, just from pure math, that we get to the point of incorporation funded through outside sources or by me being able to save up extra cash before we get to the point where the tax liability is the pressure, the pain point. And then the last question here, what would happen if we would never get to that point? Well, if we never got to $300K or $2,000 in outside revenue ever, I would cry, because I have huge aspirations for this. But in all seriousness, if we get to the end of 2019 and everybody in the community is having a good time, by the end of 2019, we will have done a lot. So we will have gone through, dividends in 2017, all of 2018, all of 2019. There'd be multiple people we would have helped by that point. So if we have community buy-in on this and people love it and they want to continue it, I'm not going to let this die just because of $2,000-$3,000, whatever it comes to at the end of the day for incorporation. I'll end up funding it at that point. It just is going to take some time for me to be able to save that up, and I do want to give a chance to outside revenue, whether it's YouTube or other things that we can do, to see if we can get it funded purely from me not having to save up a couple $1,000s and put it into it. So at the end of the day, keep the questions coming. I probably won't be able to answer any more tonight, but feel free to keep them coming. Anything I missed or did not adequately answer, let me know. Comment below. Email dividendsforhope@gmail.com. Again, thank you for the support. Stay tuned. Let's keep it going. Appreciate it.